Coming up in this episode, there are 4 nations wanting to be hosts of 2025's World Cup. James Ford move from Wakefield to Featherstone takes another wrinkle. London Broncos, a couple of stories from them. And is Magic Weekend set to stay in 2024? Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Hell Dominance, Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and if you want to continue seeing more. Well, we've got a load of rugby league news for you again today. I'm going to bring you a few stories from our wonderful sport. And we're going to start off with the big news of the week. France pulling out of the Rugby League World Cup hosting of the 2025 event. Because since then, 4 countries have expressed interest in hosting the 2025 event following France's withdrawal due to financial concerns last week. According to International Rugby League Chairman Troy Grant, Qatar has emerged as a surprise contender with the tournament organisers. IRL Chief Grant described the decision as very disappointing that France has pulled out of the 17th holding of the World Cup and has since spoke about future plans. As we've already reported, New Zealand Rugby League have publicly expressed their desire in co-hosting the tournament with Australia. But Qatar, who doesn't have a team or even a world ranking, have never played an international rugby league match, is another interesting party, having hosted last year's FIFA World Cup. In a media chat on Wednesday, the International Rugby League Chief Grant said, "We have received expressions of interest from New Zealand, Fiji, South Africa and Qatar already. We are yet to make any assessments in regarding to the viability. I'm just being honest about who has reached out. It gives me comfort that there is interest in our sport and our World Cup. How real or viable any or all of those options are, we're yet to make any of those assessments." The Qatari interest, which Grant describes as it comprises of 2 approaches of combined state and public funding, continues the nation's interest in muscling in on the global sports landscape, following a successful Soccer World Cup last year. However, the International Rugby League will be much pressure to make a decision in the near future given the limited time frame, with the possibility of completely cancelling or even postponing the World Cup yet again. Grant also highlighted concerns around the current unique format, which sees the men's, women's and wheelchairs tournaments take place at the same time, while France were also set to bring together a Youth World Cup for the first time ever. Grant continued in his statement, "We understand that we need to move quickly. It will certainly have a big bearing on where the tournament is in 2025, or if it proceeds. There is a potential option to move out of the cycles and create a new cycle, and that will be a discussion point for the board in June and July. We're not wedded to anything, to be honest. The experience of England last year was that the uniqueness of our offering, with the 3 World Cups being run at the same time, was a massive point of difference. It is a massive selling point, so to abandon that strategy would be disappointing. But we would have to be practical in any decisions we make going forward. It gets us to rethink how we do everything going forward. There is a unique opportunity that this adversity presents, and I think we should take that opportunity." Well, it's an opportunity that's been knocking, and I'm sure it will upset a few anti-expansionists to know that the World Cup could go out of its traditional heartlands if Qatar were able to get it. Even if South Africa were one that were to get the nod, that would be outside of the norm as well, as they've not really been on the international stage since 2013, maybe even earlier than that. Anyway, my thoughts are we should take advantage of this interest, and it's a unique opportunity for Rugby League to go to a nation that has held a relatively successful World Cup. Yes, there have been questions about the shall we say motives of the nation of Qatar to get into this arena. That was the same when they came up with the Qatari World Cup. I like the colour, the vibrance and everything like that. And looking on the map, most of the venues that will be used will be on the east coast and are not too far away from the shall we say nation's main transport hubs. My honest opinion, take the money and run with it, International Rugby League. Qatar are offering the money, take the money and run. It presents a war chest for the next event. And also, start planning where the next event is going to go. Get 2 World Cup cycle in the bag, in the calendar. My opinion, 2029 or 2030. Go to America. Next we come to the news that the London Broncos have made an exciting signing, as they have made former New Zealand international Dean Varey part of their squad for the rest of the season. The 33-year-old, who has Super League experience after a year at Qatar's Dragons in between 2021 and 2022, has most recently been playing in the top level of French Rugby League, Elite 1, with the Pia Donkeys. Speaking on the signing, London Broncos Director of Rugby and Performance Mike Eccles said, "I'm obviously delighted to get Dean over the line. We have looked for long and hard for an out-and-out centre, which has proven difficult. So to get someone of Dean's calibre on board is a massive boost for the team. Dean's undoubted ability will add another dimension to our attack and help solidify our edge defence. He has expressed an interest in supporting the development of some of the younger players and will also support the coaching team down at the academy. The overall package of bringing Dean Varey to the club was something we could not miss out on. Dean will join the squad and will be immediately available for selection, and from the comments, he's excited to do so. As he said, I'm excited to join the London Broncos. They have a great team that matches my playing style and I love the location. Capital of England, of course you do. I can't wait to see what we can achieve together this season." An interesting signing for the Broncos, one with international calibre and also one who joins the Heartbreakers of the 2013 England side. But anyway, an improvement, a step up in quality for the London side. The Broncos are trying to show themselves meaning business to get towards those playoff positions. One player can't do it all on his own. I just hope that they can find the balance within the existing squad so that they can push on. Too early to say about the playoffs? It's a process, we'll have to see. The Broncos, though, will also be playing 2 championship fixtures away from their regular home this summer again. Due to the annual maintenance at the Cherry Red Records Stadium, home of the AFC Wimbledon, the Broncos are to take back-to-back matches to the Cufflink Stadium in Ebbsfleet in July, something that they did last year. The 2 games will be Newcastle on July the 2nd and July the 8th will see Toulouse visit Ebbsfleet United's home ground, who have just recently been promoted to the National League, the 5th tier of the English football pyramid. Last year, the Broncos revealed plans to play at least one match a year in Kent to support the development of rugby league in the South East. They played twice at the Cufflinks Stadium in 2022, including the thrilling game against Sheffield where Broncos overturned a 28 points to nil halftime deficit to score 36 unanswered points in the second half to win the game. Local lad Ollie Leyland converted all 6 tries in front of a crowd of approximately 750 people. The following week, London hosted Featherstone Rovers on July the 10th, where they were beaten 42 points to 22. So they go into this year with some optimism for the small, shall we say, relocation of 2 games. Hey, if they can grow a fan base there as well, 2 games, a couple of thousand people coming in, bodes well for those that will get to see rugby league in the area, and it shows that rugby league can exist outside of its heartland areas. Anyway, so far London have had a win against Barrow last Sunday. Was the last time that also that the Broncos will play at the Cherry Red Records Stadium until the end of May. That starts an end of season run in which sees Mike Eccles' side play 6 home games out of their last 8 to complete the championship season. They recovered from a slow start last year to navigate away from the relegation places, and this season they have already won 4 from their 11 games, putting them in 10th place, which is only 4 points away from the playoffs and 3 points away from the relegation zone. That is how close this division is. The Broncos have won on the road in the league against Whitehaven and Newcastle, as well as picking up home wins against Swinton and the Raiders. They travel to York in the Challenge Cup 6th round this weekend, and they still have the 1895 Cup semi-final to look forward to, as they fight for their spot to reach Wembley. So we're going to go back to Wakefield's drama with James Ford, as it was announced recently that the former York City Knights coach, who joined Wakefield at the beginning of the season, is now going to be the director of rugby at Featherstone Rovers. This came as a shock bit of news to Wakefield, as it was initially intended that the former York boss was going to join Featherstone at the end of the season, ready for the 2024 series season. But according to a new statement that Wakefield has put out, they have rushed through that change of plan. So in their statement from the 17th of May, which was yesterday, following the press release from Featherstone Rovers on the 16th, Wakefield Trinity can confirm that James Ford has left his position as assistant first team coach. The club very recently became aware that James had agreed to join Featherstone for the 2024 season, and after considering all the circumstances, we have agreed that with James that he should leave with immediate effect. Wakefield Trinity naturally wishes to thank James for the hard work and enthusiasm he has brought to his role and wish him well in the future. Options within our coaching team are being considered, and further announcements will follow as and when any decisions are being made. It's an interesting case for Wakefield, as they try to make 2 steps forward and end up making 2 steps back, sometimes not through any fault of their own. Looking at the overall picture at Wakefield, they're geared to improve themselves come their new stands being finished and open for business. But on the field, they've not quite got it right yet. 12 defeats from 12 is not a good record to have to open any rugby league season. And at this moment in time, they seem dead cert on being the team relegated from Super League. Now this coaching situation comes out, it was an opportunity that Ford couldn't miss out on, I suppose, with a rampant Featherstone side and working with Sean Long and being a former club that he played for. does smack in the face of Wakefield for what they're trying to build. There could be an interesting option out there for them to take advantage of. Like, they were the first one to grab someone from the Championship, because following that, Castleford went and got Craig Lingard. But what can you say about it all? Kind of an iffy situation. It's a job opportunity that he jumped at straight away and went, yeah, not a problem, I'll leave now and go join Featherstone as a director of rugby. Don't know what to make of it on the whole, but it does smell a little, doesn't it? Well, as we thought that Magic Weekend was going to end with a final showing in 2023, Magic Weekend could return in 2024 as the Super League's annual showpiece event, despite IMG's initial plans to get rid of it. In late 2022, the global marketing giant revealed its intentions to remove the popular Magic Weekend from the UK calendar next year as part of its proposal to reimagine and revamp Rugby League, citing the fact it cannibalised other major events in the sport and created an artificial extra round. But reports are understood that there is significant pushback from this move, especially from clubs, with the Magic Weekend now likely to continue in 2024. According to sources, IMG was to introduce a new event to replace Magic Weekend in the season next year, but this has not yet been presented to Rugby League Commercial or the 12 Super League clubs, nor has the next season's makeup been confirmed either. The 2-day events, where 6 games are played in one stadium, remaining a favourite for our fans, players and broadcasters, providing solid ratings for Sky and saving on costs overall. Magic Weekend was introduced in 2007 as a way to promoting the sport to a new market, and was first held in Cardiff Millennium Stadium, where it attracted almost 60,000 fans. It was then taken to Edinburgh, Manchester and Liverpool over the past 17 years, but has found a home at Newcastle St James's Park. The event has been held 6 times in the North East, and where it's received its biggest crowd is 68,276 in 2016. It takes place again on Tyneside at the home of the Premier League football club Newcastle United next month on June the 3rd and 4th. IMG's Matt Dwyer, the Vice President of Sports Management, said there is some evidence and perception that we're potentially cannibalising ourselves with our events. Our focus is to revive the Challenge Cup. As a concept, we are not negative to Magic Weekend. It's something we'd like to see how we can work in going forward, but it's not part of the short to medium term. We need to bring a degree of scarcity to our key matchups. The criticism of Magic Weekend included the toll on players as part of a long season, the lack of revenue that feeds back to the clubs, and the effect it has on the Challenge Cup. However, the innovative concept has been copied by the NRL in Australia and held successfully in Brisbane annually since 2019. In this year's Magic Weekend, it boosted an increase of attendances over in the NRL of 147,105 over the 2 days at 3 days at Queensland Suncorp Stadium. Senior official told the media about the Magic Weekend, "Does not make money, but Sky loves it." Another high-placed source said it's all up in the air still. There has been some desire for it to stay, especially from clubs. The CEO of Wigan Warriors, Chris Radlinski, said the suggested new events from IMG has not yet been presented as such. I do believe that Magic still may still be an option for 2024. I personally like the event, but would like the selection of games to be different. Does it sit right with me, hand-selected games? That is the downside of Magic Weekend, as it is hand-selected games. It's not new matchups. It's either Wigan versus Warrington, Wigan versus Leeds, Wigan versus St Helens. The big clubs getting the bigger pies and the bigger time slots. If it was even like it's supposed to be, possibility that every club could be given the major time slot. It should be just a regular round fixtures, but played in one place, and the money's divided between the clubs evenly. But the rugby league clubs have to help out with the promoting of it massively. I know it's not money that's coming into the club as such from the event, but it is all about looking long term. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking on that notification bell for any updates on new videos that may be coming your way in the near future. Tell me what your thoughts are on today's episode in the comment section below, as it's open for business and you, me and everyone else can talk about the rugby league world as a whole. I like confabbing, and I just go on diatribes every now and again with my opinions. That's how passionate I am about the sport. Needs to get out of its own way sometimes. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. And I'll end the episode as I always do by wishing you all the very best. So please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.